Jamie from Inky&Scrappy, back with my Let's Start Stamping series, and we're gonna do that black and white with a pop of color today. I haven't decided on my layout yet. I think, don't quote me, I think we might go with this one, but I'm kind of liking that one too. So I haven't decided totally yet. I know, I should probably have already decided by this time, but I'll color my image and decide as we go. I am bringing in the Lawn Fawn's Baked with Love set, only because I've really wanted to use that one with kind of like the Have a Sweet Birthday or Baked with Love. Either of those would work. I have a couple of ink road sets that I want to use, but ultimately that's kind of where I'm going. Now for black and white with a pop of color, you can definitely just use plain black paper, plain white paper, and plain whatever your pop is. I'm going with red today because I might have gotten myself a new mixer, not because I wanted to, because I had to. My old one died. And I went with red. So that's where my color inspiration comes from today. So I pulled out a couple of paper pads that have some black and white pattern. You could definitely do a full background stamp, like just a text background stamp would work to add in, you know, that black, or even a pop of red if you wanted to do it that way. I try to do like the gallon, quart, pint method when you're looking at color, at least when you're only using 3. So like a big amount of either the white or the black, and then a pretty good amount of whichever one I didn't use on the first one. So if I go with a major black background, then kind of bringing in the white as kind of middle of the line background, and then just using that red as a pop, so that smaller amount of red, and the red will just kind of pop. So if I add a red onto a layer, I would probably make it just a very thin, skinny layer, if that makes sense. So like that would be a pop of red. So if you do your white and then your black, so if we go white, red, black, you get a lot of screen today. I might be working on cleaning my desk. It's the cleanest it's been in probably 2 years. Anyways, I you know, sidetrack. Okay, squirrel. Back on track. So this is what I mean when I say kind of like a gallon of black, a quart of white, and a little pint of red. So that's kind of the theory behind it, at least in general. That's kind of the theory. But you don't, it's not a hard and fast one, but it kind of helps you when you're doing, you know, I don't know, color layout. If you're struggling with card layout or color layout, like how much color to put in when it comes to color. Let me grab, this one uses 3 basics. So kind of in the same line as this one. It's definitely, wow, we're not going this, you know, today, but kind of in this one, the pink is probably your biggest one, and then of course that yellow is your second most visible, and then of course the green is just around the outside, so that's like your little pop of color add in. So if you're looking at it that way, kind of the same way. So kind of keeping, you know, your third color or your third, fourth, and fifth colors smaller and not totally overwhelming of your card, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. This one is kind of in that same realm where the teal, but blue and purple are kind of my bigger ones. So those 3 are kind of the bigger ones, and then just adding in the white is kind of like your pop of white is gonna just show up better, I think. I hope that makes sense. Those 2 aren't the greatest, but they're the ones that are closest to me that don't have inappropriate things on them today. But that's kind of what I mean when I talk about color in the gallon, quart, and pint or ounce, you know, however you add it in there. But that's kind of the idea behind the black white with a pop of color, or the brown and cream with a pop of color. Kind of adding in that pop of color as a wow factor, but you're kind of just breaking up the 2 main colors in there. I hope that made sense. I'm not a teacher at all. I'm just shooting from the hip. So I kind of pulled in the Bow Bunny. There's Family Recipes collection. If this is an old paper pad, I picked it up at Tuesday morning, so they've been closed for a little while. but I liked this one. Kind of gives me that kitchen vibe, so I'll probably go with this one, which is black and white. Granted, there's some grays in that white, so the white's not as vibrant, but it's definitely an option. Your other options would be going straight on with kind of that black and white plaid. I didn't look in this one first to make sure that I had it, but like that one would definitely fall under the black and white pattern paper. That one's just like a white one. So don't feel like you have to be straight black, straight white. You can definitely add a little bit of gray in there as well. If this one was black, I would have probably picked something like that. Something that had a small pattern or a tone on tone looks really cool. I think I'm going to go with this one just because I like that it's an antique white, but it's still white. So I think we'll do that one as probably our base underneath piece and go from there. So throw those to the side, and bring in this one and this one. So I'm just going to throw my scrap piece of paper in there. I'm using Xpress It cardstock today because I'm coloring with my Ohuhu markers. Xpress It is definitely my favorite for alcohol marker coloring. Keep in mind you can get a similar look with the Bristol Smooth paper, and you know, it's more readily available, especially like Michaels carries it. I know some of the office supply companies carry it, but if you are struggling with your blends, go for the Xpress It 100%. It'll give you a better result. So I'm coming in with Lawn Fawn's Jet Black Premium Ink Pad, alcohol marker friendly. Hero has one that's alcohol marker friendly. I have not liked my new pad that I started. I have to heat set it or it kind of runs with lighter colors, I've noticed. I know there's other ones out there. Those are the ones that I have. I also have mementos, but both of my mementos need some re-inking, and I don't have re-inkers for them yet. I should probably, you know, do that at some point in time. But mementos works kind of in a similar, or works well. It's what I used to use before the jet black. I like the jet black because when it's inked properly, it gives a nice crisp black image. I probably switched to it because my mementos is probably dry and didn't realize that's what my issue was. No comment. Okay, so for this one, I'm just gonna bring in my color charts. So the color charts are on my blog at Inky&Scrappy.com. On the right side, it'll say Ohuhu marker blends, or if you're on mobile, it'll be on drop down menu. But this one should be on there. It is going to be only with the 60. I think it's under the Ohuhu 60. I think I have it noted there. So it only has the Ohuhu Oahu, which is the fine tip colors on it, because that's the one that we try to concentrate on here. I did bring in some gray markers for this one. It would definitely be, if you're looking to go slow with your color building, if you're doing markers, I would go with the 60 set, and then I would add on the skin tones and the grays, because those are probably going to be your most used markers. Color wise, I think it gives you a good enough color variety that you should be fine with just those. But ultimately, that's, you know, for this series, that's what I stick with, is those ones. I do have a conversion chart on my Etsy shop. It's like $3. It converts everything that is in the Honolulu to the Oahu and back. There are about 150 markers, each separately in each color family, or in each family, that don't match in the other family. So I might have both. Yeah, no comment. Okay. So I'm gonna go with this red blend today, sticking with kind of, I want that middle one the most because I want it to be that shade of red, but I'm okay with that R475 coming in a little bit, which is a wine red. But I'll use that one kind of as my darker coloring, where I want it to be a little bit darker. But I also want it to kind of have, I don't know if I want to do the round shape on this. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to just kind of lay, I haven't colored this one in forever, so you'll have to excuse my ramblings at this point. I try to make it look like it's rounded and give it a highlight and low lights, but it's one of those that's kind of a different, can I say it's a different beast to color? Because it's not all round, some of it's just like flat, and so trying to decide where my color is going to be. I think we're good there for now, maybe. Alright, so that's my first layer down, and then for my second layer I'm going to come in with that R865, which is geranium. It's probably my favorite shade of red, between that one and the dark red, because I love the dark jewel tones. And I'm going to leave a very, very skinny little spot for my third color, because that's really just the highlight, and I don't want a whole lot of highlight. So you could probably, you know, cheat and just do 2 colors on this one, and you'd be totally fine. Ooh, I think my other one's starting to dry out. This one's nice and juicy. The other one, my 457 is looking like I need to order a refill. That's the other thing with alcohol markers. If you're not getting a great blend and you've switched paper and you've tried all the things, is your marker juicy? A lot of times they kind of just, you know, you use them. So the ink is obviously going to dry out eventually or run out eventually. And so keep in mind that if you're having a hard time getting a good blend, maybe your markers are just getting dry and need rejuicing. I haven't looked lately to see if Ohuhu has the refills back on their website. They've been out since I think since they introduced them. They didn't, you know, everyone's looking for refills again. I am going to hit the back side with this one. Going over a lighter color is going to push your darker color further into the paper or over a little bit. So you won't get a whole lot of lighter there, but you'll get a little bit of lighter there. But basically, I'm just giving it a highlight on the top there and on the top of my base. And then, of course, on where the beater would stick. I don't know how dark gray I went. So I'd probably get away with 2 on this one. So I'm going to do my shadow on this one kind of in the same way on my mixer. On my bowl, I want it to kind of look round. So I'm going to start from my outside and work my way in. And this will hopefully give it that rounded appearance by putting my highlight kind of in the middle. So I usually color cups like this or anything that I want round for the most part. Plant pots, that type of thing. Do I want to do a second color? I went with BG050, which is cool gray, 050. I don't know how far 80 is. That one's probably about the same. Okay. Decisions. Well, let's go for it. I'm going to use the wider one just because it's a fairly open area, and so I'm not too worried about going out of the lines. I might also be an impatient colorer. It's going to take me way too much time to color the whole thing, right? So I'm going to let that sit and dry a little bit, and then I'm going to go over that whole area one more time. Going over the outside as well. It's going to help pull that color in a little bit. Sometimes getting your gray to blend right is difficult. I find it's harder with the cool gray than it is with the neutral gray. I don't know why cool gray is like that. Why I picked cool gray, because it looks metallic and that's what I wanted. But it does not blend as well, at least. Even my Copics didn't blend. The cool ones just weren't great at blending well. I think they dry back better than they look when they're wet. Does that make sense? I need to remember to zoom this in before I crop. So I don't have the matching die for this one, and I'm feeling lazy, so I'm not going to pull out the Brother Scan and Cut, only because there's stuff on top of it. That's why I say I'm feeling lazy, so it's really more work than it's not. But anyways, we'll do the whole hand cutting again. So for me, hand cutting is more about moving the paper to my scissors, and I'm going to cut out the big part. So I don't need this to get in the way when I'm cutting, especially if I'm doing a fussier cut. Do I want to go right on, or do I want to leave? I don't want that big of a. So I'm gonna go for what my Brother Scan and Cut would call a 0.04 border. Here's going nothing for nothing, right? The other thing is to move your paper to your scissors instead of trying to move your scissors to your paper, like, or to your shape. If you move, so I'm really just moving the paper. I'm not moving my scissors. My scissors are staying in one spot. I'm just moving the paper and then slowly cutting down with the scissors to kind of get that continuous cut motion. Probably didn't need to go in that far on that one, but and this I find gives me an easier time to get that border about the same. I think otherwise when you're moving your scissors, I think you struggle with, I don't know, is it space? I don't know, whatever it's called. But it tends to be easier to get a more equal border. It's not perfect. I'm not perfect. I struggle with it sometimes. It's just a little bit easier if you move the paper to your scissors instead of your scissors around the paper. Boop. And there we have it. So I did go out of the line a little bit there. A cheat for that one is to bring in a jelly roll. Number 10 is usually my most favorite just because it's a thick and wide line. Making sure that you use it frequently enough. I didn't test it because I've just got done using it earlier. So it's, you know, gel pens tend to, I don't know, they stick. Is that what it is? Like, it doesn't move. I do it with my black ones quite a bit. I make sure that it's working well before I actually put it to my image. So there's our image. One little image. I don't know which one I want to do today. Indecision. That's where I'm at. Okay, let's see here. I want to go with this one. So, because if I do this one, I could do that there instead of the snowflake. I could do a little bit of red here. Keep this white maybe, or I could keep that black. So I could go black with a little bit of red and then do this one on top. And then really my white's kind of my pop of color, isn't it? I could do the white underneath this one. That could work. And then my sentiment down there. Or I do this one and do this one and then do my black on top. I think that covers up way too much of that though. I like the idea of that one being the pattern. Okay, so let's start cutting and see where we go from here. So for this one, I want my pattern to kind of look matchy, so I'm not following any, oh, let me back it up. I'm not following like maybe what I would say would be your easiest A2 size cuts, which I printed them out somewhere. I gave them to Miss Lori. I printed out a set for me to like show you and I forgot. So this one I'm gonna cut it at, and I could cut this side down to get in between there, but I think it would be still under, well, maybe it'll be close to 3.5. Let's try it and see where we're at. So if we put 3 a little bit, I'm going to try to cut it right on the diamond. And then let's go on this side and try to cut it. So I think I can get this one to about 3.5 score, and it worked well. But this way my pattern is going to look symmetrical and it's not going to be like skewed. Like this on there would bug me just because it's not symmetrical, and so it's one of those things. So I did 3.5. So 3.5 is 1 to 3/4 of an inch less than 4 1/4, which is my width, right? So 3/4 of an inch less than my 5.5 is going to be 4 3/4. I'm going to cut this one here. I don't want to do it because I'm looking at where my top is going to be. So I'm going to cut this one here and then turn it around, and we'll get it close. It's not going to be perfect this way, but that one's not going to bug me nearly as much as the crossway one is, just because, you know. So if we go there with that one, this one goes there, and then we have, I think I want to add the red behind that one. I'm going to have to find a bigger piece of red, obviously. Let's see. I almost want to go with a darker red too. This one is probably going to be a better shade of red. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, we have so little red sticking out. I like that one better though. Ooh, I like this one best. Best of all. Jaime, do you have multiple colors of cardstock? Yes. Everywhere? Yes. Okay, so we cut this one at 3.5. So let's go with, I just want a little 1/8 inch border all the way around. So I'm going to go 3 3/4 on this one. So I'm just going 1/4 inch up. And so this one was at 4 3/4. So I'm going to go to 5 inches on this one. So that should give me a 1/8 inch border all the way around when I layer it. And then we'll do this one as, I think I have a black card base cut. I have a black card base cut. You know, sometimes in life we plan ahead. We didn't know that's what we were planning for, but I was cutting down black paper and I was like, oh, that's big enough for a card base. So I'm going to score, this is just a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper cut to 4 1/4 and left at 11. It was actually way bigger than that because I think it's a 13 by 18 piece of paper. Anyways, so I'm going to score that at 5.5. And that will give me my card base of a standard A2 size card. So then we can go this layer on top of this layer. There and there. And we can probably throw this one in here, like, if we want. I would almost go white. I think I'm going to have to do white for my sentiment down below because my pattern paper it's not going to stand out on. And let's just go, this one's not going to be wide enough to go all the way across. Okay. I'm going to trim this one down to about 1/2 inch. So this one is what, an inch and a little bit. So let's go, that's going to be very thin. So let's go about here. I would probably normally cut that with a die cut because it's just skinny. Okay, So let me move this one out of the way. Now I like the white, but it's, well, it's white is white. Okay. I think we'll be able to go that way. Where did your stamp set go? I could do the baked with love on this one. Would fit, maybe. Or find a different sentiment, I guess. Alrighty, so I'm going to use my card base as my base layer piece. Let's pop this on here. Either liquid glue or a glue runner will work. I went heavy on the black on this one today. Wait, usually I go heavier on the white, but it is what it is. Ooh, some twine would be cute around it instead of doing my red. Oh, decisions. Do I have white? I'm sure I have white. So I'll add this layer on top. And white glitter. Well, if I do an off-white, I mean, it's still black and white, right? I think this white is going to go better, and then I need to find an off-white sheet of paper. Let's see. It's kind of, I kind of want to say it's kind of the white reminds me of kind of the Bristol Smooth White. It's not, it's white, but it's not white. Does that make sense? It's like a yellowish white. Let me grab my white bin here. Let's go for something that's a little bit like this. I think is kind of like it's a Bristol Smooth White. Does that make sense? So white has like multiple shades, right? So these both are technically white. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but this one's definitely yellower than this one. So I'll go with this one because that's going to give me the same tone that the other one does. Is there a smaller piece in here? I try to keep my whites kind of in one container. That one will work. Okay. Just because I grab them a lot for die cutting and those types of things, and so for layers it just works well to keep them all in one spot. So I think we're going to go with the twine. So this is just natural hemp cord from Walmart. I think it'll give it a fun look. Plus it'll add a little bit because we'll have that bow there, or the knot. So I usually do 3 times around. Just because, I don't know, to me it looks better that way. And then I'm going to cut this one a little bit on the longer side. If I could find where I just had my scissors. I can't find it. Grab a different one. That's why you have 30 of them here. Okay. So I ran it all the way around the back side as well. If I would have thought about it, or I didn't want it to go all the way around, I would have gone under, I'd have put this piece on top of the red one and then glued this, but keep in mind you're going to have, then I would have popped up that red piece on some acetate, no, not acetate, some foam. Wow. I lost my little, I was going to say, I lost this too. Oh, go figure. Okay. I don't need my head. It doesn't need to be attached today. Silly girl. I think we're going to go here with it. So I think I'm just going to tie a knot. I suck at bows. I mean, I can do them, but they're just not my strong suit. Okay. Well, maybe we'll do a bow. We'll try a bow. If I don't like it, I can always untie the bow. So bows, usually if you make 2 rabbit ears, 2 bunny foo-foo ears, and then you take your bunny foo-foo ears and you tie them together. You'll get a nice bow. Somebody at a show showed me that once. I don't remember who. It was, you know, some company booth. I don't remember. Bow Bunny maybe? Which would be ironic because I'm using Bow Bunny stuff today. But, so we have a nice little bow, and then we can trim the end. And I want it to kind of stay, so I'm going to drop a little drop of glue there. You can go with like a glue dot, glue burr type of thing to put underneath it if you want it to stay in that spot. I might come in with a little mini dot when I'm all done to kind of get it to stay down that way. We'll see. And I'm going to go a little off center with this one, but because I haven't glued it down yet, I can kind of wiggle it up and down, move it around, figure out where I want it. Once I place this, because I'm going to actually go with, let's see if I can find, I don't need it to be that thick. Oh, here we go. I just have craft foam. So I'm going to go craft foam. And I'm going to cut it in half and trim it a little bit. This way I can kind of just add, and if I was on top of it, I would have, well, we can glue it on there. So we're just going to glue the craft foam on top. So this is probably like sticky back craft foam. Sometimes I remember to put the score style tape on it. Sometimes, like today, I do not remember to put the score style tape on it. But I'm just going to go with glue. I mean, it's, you know, it works either way. I just want to make sure that I leave kind of like a place for the thread to run underneath it. This will help secure that in place so it doesn't move up and down once my card is finished. So it's just a matter of kind of putting it in there and then of course finishing it up this way. So I think we're good there. Wow, if you wait for the glue to dry, that would be good. Jaime doesn't wait for the glue to dry. Hence why I usually do the double-sided sticky stuff. And then I usually do glue on top of it. So I'm going to pick this up just so I can kind of make sure I'm wiggling it between the line on that side and this side. And then the little bit of glue that I add on there kind of gives me a little bit of wiggle room with it. And so there we have our image on there, and now we just need to do our sentiment. So we do the baked with love or have a sweet birthday. You're all I need would work. That would be cute. What I really want to do on this one is come in the I can't help it, eating is my hobby would work. Or, and these are out of print ones, so that's why I wasn't going to use them. Where's the other one? The other one I have is the ink road stamp Snarky Mother's Day. And I know, but I think theirs is out of print too. Taylor Expression had some, like Good Moms Let You Lick the Beaters. I think they might have that one too, or they used to. Great Moms Turn Them Off First is really what I want to put on that one, but I don't need a Mother's Day card. So I can't help it, eating is my hobby, I think is the one I'm going to go with today. But really, you know, happy birthday, have a sweet birthday, all of those would work. I should probably do the You Are All I Need because I need a Father's Day card. But whatever. Okay. Ba-dum-bum. 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 Ooh, you get musical stylings by Jaime today to boot. Lucky you. Not really, I'm sorry. I'll stop singing. I won't. It sounds good though, if I apologize. Okay. My lack of singing abilities are on point. Okay, I'm going to come in with the VersaFine Onyx Black and ink up my stamp with that one. It didn't wiggle too much. Okay. And then for this one, I'm just going to bring this one back in. Oh, I cut that red piece and I didn't even use it. Go figure. So my base is what? We said 3.5. Yeah, 3.5. So I want to make sure that it's less than 3.5 for sure. I'm not too worried about it, but you know, if I'd have gone with a longer sentiment, that's kind of where I was running into trouble. But I could have definitely done the long skinny one down below. And I just use my cutter as a guide. So I use this line here as kind of my guide when I'm cutting to give me an even border. So I put, you know, the longest letter or the furthest letter down on that line or under that line, so it kind of butts up to it, and then cut from there. And I do that on all 4 sides, and that's how I usually line it up. And I actually had it fairly straight in my stamp platform today. Added bonus. Sometimes if it's really crooked, you can do it, you know, you start with one side, and then once you have one side cut straight, then you cut your other ones and it should kind of get straight. I seldom ever get it to the point where it's all straight. I dropped some stuffs on there. Okay. I can't help it, eating is my hobby. And I really want to back that with a black. To be honest, I think popping it on the black, only because I think it'll pop it up and off of there. Okay, let me find a scrap of black. Oh, it's not going to be big enough, is it? Ooh, barely. I mean, I could wiggle it on there. It's not very straight. Ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-bum, ba-dum-bum. Okay, I found a little piece of black that will be straight enough. I'm going to actually glue this one down first. I usually don't do it this way, but when it's got such a little border all the way around, I didn't want it to have a lot. I just wanted it to have a little piece of black to break it up so it's not right next to that grayish white. Doesn't look, the other option would be just go around the edge with either, the red would be really cute to go around the edge with if you wanted to add a little bit more of a pop in there. You know, you could definitely do a triple matte and do it that way. I don't have a big enough piece of red, and I think that one might be I don't know where that red came from. I don't know if I have another piece there. So I'm just going to kind of use my cutter as the guide on this one because it's so thin, and just hope for the best. It worked out. I smeared it. Go figure. I don't know how I ended up smearing it, but I ended up smearing it. Go figure. Which means I'll glue it down and then I'll just make another one to go for the top. Or we'll try to erase my inky fingers. Stupid inky fingers. Okay. So I'm going to kind of go, distance-wise, I'm going to try to go for a similar distance as the top of for down there. Just kind of centering it in the middle of the card. It's just you know, to me it's pleasing to the eye. I don't know. You do you, boo. Okay, I'm going to try to go in with a mono sand eraser to undo my whoopsies. Sometimes the sand eraser will take care of it. Sometimes it does not. It really depends on paper and ink, to be honest. I think it actually did a pretty good job this time. So, yay, I saved it. Life is good. Get it on. Okay, so I can't help it. Eating is my hobby. And then, because it's black, the inside, I usually cut down a piece of paper for the inside. I don't know if this one has necessarily I could do a tone on tone, but I'll probably just go with a little white insert. So let me grab. It doesn't have to be a heavy piece of paper either. It can be a fairly thin one. This one's thinner. I don't know what this one is. Interesting. Alright. Super smoothie? I don't know. So for the inside piece, I don't need it to be as big as the inside. So 4 1/4 would be your whole inside. Max, I would do a 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to go down to 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. And sentiment. I could do the have a sweet birthday on this one. I must have ink on my fingers somewhere. I'm getting it everywhere. Go figure. I don't even see it on there. Ugh. Annoying. What did you learn in today's video class? Jaime gets ink on her fingers and it's annoying. She sings weird songs. The eraser comes in handy. Okay, what do I want to do? I can't help it. Eating is my hobby. Have a sweet birthday? I don't know. We'll go with that one. Is it gonna fit? It's gonna fit. Okay. If you have not commented on last week's, no, 2 weeks ago video, the one with the rainbow, go back, comment on it. I will be picking a winner on June 15th. So if this one airs tomorrow on June 14th like it's supposed to, I will have it listed on the community tab on my Inky&Scrappy Gmail account. So hopefully this one will go up June 14th, 2025. The contest or the, entering ends June 15th, 2025. So I will pick a winner. Comment on their comment on that video. I don't remember what it's called. Oh, I think it was like stamping with like cheap markers is the one it was for. Anyways. Let's go tulip in color. So I'm just going to come in with the tulip and do it in red. So comment on that one. I will pick a winner on June 15th, 2025 if you have not yet. If it's already past that, well, I'm just saying stuff that you could care less about. Anyways, I'm going to stamp that. I think we're good with one and done. I still have ink on my finger. That is like, I don't even see it. Good golly. I think we're good with one. So one and done. I like to add the image into the inside. I don't like writing on the inside of cards because I never know what to say when it comes to actually writing things out. I don't know, anxiety. So much anxiety. Should I? No. Let's see. I'm gonna add this one. I'm just gonna bring in a dot type liner, or this one, just because it's thinner white paper. I don't always like to use glue with it because even with a really super thin layer, sometimes it kind of, you know, shows through. So I'm gonna go this route. I don't know how I cut it wrong, but I cut it wrong. Anyways. I'll center it, call it good. So, have a sweet birthday. So, I can't help it. Eating is my hobby. Oh, you know which would have been cute on the inside? Putting one of them stinking cute cupcakes. That would have been, like, way better. Because, you know, that would have made sense. I'm a freaking genius. Alright. After the fact, I suppose I could go back in and add a cupcake. That would have, yeah. Anyways. Okay, there's my card today. So, the black and white with a pop of red. So, actually, when I look at it, it does have way more black than it has white. So, black was probably my gallon of color. White is probably my 2 quarts of color. And then, of course, a little pint of red in there. Just kind of helps it pop and stand out against the rest. So, if I would redo this part, I would probably go with a warm black, a warm gray instead of the cool gray, because I think the warm gray would have gone better with my off-white shading, but whatever. So I can't help it. Eating is my hobby. Have a sweet birthday. We're gonna put the cupcake in it. I haven't decided what kind of cupcakes I want for my birthday yet. It's the 15th. I was discussing with my sister-in-law today. I said, what do I want? I have a, you know, like a, I have to eat gluten-free, and I have to eat gluten-free with oat corn. So, we don't buy desserts. It just doesn't happen. Jaime makes desserts. Anyways. So, I was like, well, what do I was like, maybe I'll go simple. I'm like, I'm not going to the store to pick up strawberries, but I have strawberries in the freezer. So I was thinking maybe doing like a it's not an angel food cake recipe. It's like a yellow cake, but it kind of has, it's like a, I don't know. I don't want to say maybe it's a sponge. I don't know. That one's really good. So I was thinking of just doing that, and then just doing strawberries and ice cream. Yum. Or I could do some, but then I was like, but then it would be really good with cream cheese filling, you know, like cheesecake filling. I could do cheesecake too. So many options. And Pika just started laughing at me because she's like, oh yeah, cheesecake. And I'm like, but I have peanut butter ice cream there, so chocolate cake would be really good with peanut butter icing or frosting. No, ice cream. Yeah, it's one of those decisions. Anyways, as you're watching that video, I will probably be working on figuring out what exactly I want to make for, you know, birthday cake. Let's see. Do I want to add some color onto those? Should I? Probably not, because I didn't use the right ink. Okay. I will resist for now. Anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Keep getting inky. Try not to get ink everywhere. But if you do, the Mono Sand Eraser is your friend. Sometimes. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Today it worked. I'm impressed. I don't know if you can see it on here or not, but it did take off all of my inky smudges because it literally said eating on top of the in front of the eye on this one in like a soft gray. But I don't want to touch it again because I'll probably, that's why I'm thinking that must be Bristol Smooth because it didn't dry very fast. Probably why it erased well too. So anyways, there is my card for today. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. I think I said that already, but I forgot where I was at. I need to, I don't know, go take a nap or something. I'm getting old and forgetful. It's what happens. All right, bye.